A Pakistani court has imposed a $2.48 million fine on China National Petroleum Corporation. The case relates to the violation of contract norms, and it has again stoked the increasing economic mistrust between the two nations. Remember, many projects under the so-called China-Pakistan Economic Corridor have been stalled, turning into financial liabilities instead of them being assets. There have been unresolved differences between the governments. China has slowed down its investments in large infrastructure projects. Beijing reportedly sees key projects in Pakistan as vulnerable to local politics, and also it sees the return on investments have been delayed ever since it started investing in Pakistan. The differences between the two governments, though not new, have been kept behind closed doors so far. The terror attacks that specifically target Chinese projects and Chinese interests have affected the economic cooperation between Beijing and Islamabad. Now, Pakistan's economic woes have further reduced its capacity to fulfill the financial obligations in various projects. The crisis is so dire that it can't even at this moment service many of the loans that it has taken. China has also been accused of dubious practices like signing fraudulent deals with independent power producers and receiving tax exemptions. Now, China has repeatedly refused to renegotiate the power purchase agreement worth $3 billion. Now, Beijing says that its commercial banks are not in a position to revise any of the clauses of the agreements that were reached earlier with the Pakistani government. There are also some serious concerns that the deals were badly negotiated, too expensive, or were overly favorable to China. Many in Pakistan are opposing the China-funded projects given to Chinese companies with high-interest loans. Critics, in fact, say that Pakistan has fallen into a Chinese debt trap that it will not be able to climb out of. Pakistan reportedly at this moment owes anywhere about $30 billion, or one-third of its external debt to China and Chinese commercial banks. Between July 2021 and March 2022, over 80% of Pakistan's bilateral debt service had gone to just one country, China. Last year, 30 Chinese firms involved in energy, communication and railways had threatened to shut down their operations unless payments were made. Now, Pakistan has not benefited from the free trade agreement signed with China either. The trade deficit between the two countries grew by about 109% between 2003 and 2006, and it grew by a staggering 535% after the free trade agreement came into effect. The Chinese companies have often faced flack for transgressing the labor standards of the countries in which they operate. The analysts say that a lack of due diligence, corruption and also disregard for indigenous rights and environment have characterized Chinese projects abroad. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.